The Relic is a 1997 creature feature directed by Peter Hyams. A murder investigation at the Chicago Museum of Natural History takes a sinister turn, as the evidence points towards the culprit being a terrifying monster. But before we get into this museum of mayhem, I just want to ask that if you end up enjoying this video, then please think about hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel. And if you do, make sure to hit the bell icon so you never miss any of my videos. It would really help me out. So thanks. Also, there will be full spoilers ahead, but if that doesn't bother you, then grab your human hypothalamus flavoured popcorn and whip up a bowl of rhinoceros soup as we dive into The Relic. So the movie begins in Brazil, where this native tribe are having a loud dance around the fire boogie, and we see this fella taking photos with his handheld picture capturing device. Then we see these leaves covered in a red fungus or something, which one of the natives dips in a pot to make a lovely cup of tea. Christ, you didn't let that brew for very long, did you? Put it back in. Nobody likes a piss-weak cup of fungus. So they give the red fungus tea to Mr. Photo. Then the village elder says, "Right, before you drink this, I need to ask you a few questions to make sure it won't have any, undesirable effects." "Okay, shoot." "Right. Are you allergic to cinnamon?" "No." "Do you have a pacemaker?" "No." "Have you ever taken LSD?" "No." "Do you like pickled cucumber?" Be honest." "Okay, yes, I do like pickled cucumber." "Phew, that's fine then. Right, well, looks like everything checks out, so have at it, fella." "Oh, bollocks, you weren't born in January, were you?" "Yeah, I was, yeah." "Oh, shit." Then one of the tribe returns from the Amazonian fancy dress shop, and Mr. Photo is like, "What the hell are you dressed up like? You look like a luchador got into a fight with a hay bale and lost." "Please don't hurt me! I take it back, you look lovely." Turns out Mr. Photo works for the Chicago Museum of Natural History, and after his bad trip last night has decided that his crate containing the leaves with the red fungus must not be shipped back to America. But the ship's captain is like, "Sorry chief, they're already on the boat, so tough shit." He manages to sneak on board though, and searches the crate saying, "Move out the way, rat, I need to get up there." "No, I was here first!" And as he cracks open the crate, he gets a splinter in his finger, and has the biggest overreaction I've ever seen. Oh, and turns out the crate wasn't even his, because the silly bugger had got on the wrong ship. What a goof! 6 weeks later and the ship turns up in Chicago, minus its crew. Then we meet one of our protagonists, Lieutenant D'Augusta, played by Tom Cocaine and Prostitutes Sizemore. I'm just going to call him Tom for the sake of simplicity. He meets up with his colleague, Detective Grimace, and they explore the ship, finding someone's gone a bit mad with the red paint. Probably a painter. Inside the ship, and there's still no trace of the crew, until they open this hatch and, oh, there they are! Well, what's left of them? "Hey, Grimace, I'll give you a fiver if you stick your hand in that water." "Oh, no way!" "Make it a tenner." 1 week later and we're at the Museum of Natural History, where a school trip has rocked up and we get to meet our other protagonist, Dr. Green. But her pants are brown, not green, so she's Dr. Pant now. And these two inquisitive kids want to know what kind of doctor she is.
I'm an evolutionary biologist.
What's that?
Someone trying to figure out where our tails went.
Well, I don't know about you, but my tails is right here. Fly, my foxy friend, fly! Inside the building, we meet the museum director. And if you're telling me that they didn't base Edna from The Incredibles on her, then I just don't believe you. Anyway, Edna tells Pant that her colleague Greg the Smeg has applied for the same research grant as her, despite him already getting one last time. So Pant goes to confront him, but keeps her cool.
Oh, hello, Greg. How nice to see you.
You slimy, backstabbing piece of shit!
How's the old research going?
Not very well, to be honest. All we found out this week is that crocodiles in ancient Egypt definitely had teeth. Well, I'll leave you be then, but just know this. If you steal this grant from me, then I will set you on fire.
You shouldn't take it so personally.
You really are a gerbil.
Dr. Pant then passes by Mr. Photo's office and sees that his boxes have arrived from Brazil. So she goes in for a snoop, but is jump scared by Edna and the museum's curator, who I'm going to call Gramps. He shows Pant the relic which came in one of the boxes, which is of the devil god, the Cathoga.
They made a deal with Satan to vanquish their enemies, so Cathoga was born.
Pant thinks superstition is a load of crap though, but Edna says the upcoming superstition exhibit will be a big moneymaker for the museum, which benefits her too.
Using superstition to bring people to the museum is like hiring topless ushers for the Bolshoi Ballet.
Well, if they did, I might go to the ballet.
Oh, Gramps, you lovable old bastard, you. Dr. Pant is a bit puzzled that the second box only contained the leaves though, and notices the red fungus on them. Gramps says it's best to incinerate them, but lets her keep a few so she can run some tests to satisfy her curiosity. So she does some tests on the red fungus when all of a sudden...
Dr. Green, please let me go home. I need to rest.
Fine, you can go home now, Lewis. But for God's sake, eat a fucking pie, will ya? Later that evening, security guard Fred decides to go and have a wee smoky break in the toilets when he hears someone, or something, enter the bathroom.
Johnson.
No, it's the Cathoga. The what? Wait, what are you doing to my head? No, don't do that. I need my head to live. Oh, great. Now I'm dead. How am I going to explain this to my wife? The next morning in the museum is a crime scene. Pant shows up for work and Greg says,
Someone's been killed.
Murdered.
God, I hope it was Greg. Inside she meets Lieutenant Tom, who says he needs to ask her some questions as she was the last person working last night. But before that he needs to go and check out the scene of the murder. So he goes into the bathroom and is like,
Holy Toledo! Somebody had fun.
Christ, Grimace, you could have given me a heads off. I mean, a heads up about the head off. But then Dr. Pant walks in like, dead body? Pah! Nothing freaks me out. I've got nerves as...
Get her out of here.
Then one of the crime scene investigators finds Fred's half-burnt Smokey on the floor and Tom says,
Pant's a misdemeanor. Decapitation seems a bit severe.
Not where I'm from, mate. And God help you if you're caught dropping litter. You'll be hung, drawn and quartered before breakfast. Then Tom tells his cops to search the building for any trace of the culprit.
Sweeping teams of two.
And make sure you sweep the floor when you're done. But if you come across any stairs which are too steep, then don't be afraid to stop. He wants the museum to stay closed until they find the murderer and goes to tell Edna.
Lieutenant, this is Tom Parkinson, our Director of Security.
Have you identified the victim, Lieutenant Agostino?
No parking space, I haven't. And if you get my name wrong again, I'm going to karate chop you in the neck. Anyway, he tells them that once he makes sure the killer isn't in the building, then they can reopen. But not before then. In the meantime, he goes and speaks to Dr. Pant and apologises for letting her see Headless Fred. So they have a walk and chat on the way to her office.
What's the soup today?
Rhinoceros megarhinus.
He's making rhinoceros soup?
Yeah, it's good stuff, but if you eat too much, it'll make you really horny. Pant tells Lieutenant Tom that she didn't see or hear anything last night, so then he asks about Dr. Photo, as his office was vandalised last night too. She says they never really got on because of a disagreement over pickled cucumber, but that's about it. Oh, and she also tells him about the crates that arrived and takes him to see the relic, which is currently being restored. But Tom can't stick around for long because he's got a date with a pathologist. Well, not a date, because, I mean, she's proper old like, but she does have a wicked sense of humour.
7 decapitations in 1 week. Don't you just hate someone who only takes head and never gives it?
Anyway, she inspects the body and Tom says,
Any idea about a weapon?
Something big.
big like a fridge or big like that Tom Hanks movie? But what's really weird is that the victim's brain was removed and he's missing the hypothalamus, meaning...
They sucked his brains out.
Back to Dr. Pant, whose analysis of the red fungus is complete, and apparently it contains an aberrant cocktail of DNA from a variety of animals, which is rather unusual. Then she gets to practice in her speech to convince the donors to give her the grant.
Just give me the goddamn money.
Hell, she's convinced me. How much do you need, lass? 10? 20? Nah, I'm feeling generous. I'll give you 30 pence. Elsewhere, we see these two cops searching the sublevels of the museum. I'm going to call these two cappuccino and latte, because they're frequently either talking about or drinking coffee. But they hear a strange noise and go to investigate, when suddenly they're attacked by a crazy fella wielding an axe. Holy shit! Did you get him? So, Parking Space thinks they've got their murderer, but Tom isn't convinced.
This is nuts.
Hey, something's wrong. We got a homeless ex-con who gets his jollies from ripping out people's hypothalamuses. What's he doing, starting a hypothalamus collection?
Hey, Lieutenant, we've just found some sort of hypothalamus collection over here. Oh, you're kidding me, right? Yeah, I am. It's actually a necklace belonging to one of the crew on the ship from Brazil. Shit. So, reluctantly, Tom tells Parking Space that the gala can go ahead, but there will be a police presence throughout.
How much police presence?
As much as I goddamn deem necessary.
I'm going to have to use that next time I go to the doctor's and he asks, how much shippy do you drink in a week?
As much as I goddamn deem necessary. So
the gala is about to begin, and while all the wealthy wankers are enjoying the free champagne and grub, Tom and his team plan on giving the sublevels another sweep with some dogs to make sure the coast is clear. Elsewhere, Gramps shows up and tells Pant to get ready for the gala. So while she's getting changed, she tells him about the bizarre DNA from the red fungus. But when Gramps looks into it further, he makes a worrying connection to the police investigation.
The hormones listed in this analysis of the leaf, they're all produced by the human hypothalamus.
But in a much more concentrated form, meaning whoever the killer is, they need those hormones more badly than I need my haircut. Downstairs in the main hall, the guests are enjoying themselves, while Latte says to Cappuccino,
Looking very dapper tonight. Think so?
Nah, not really. Now, where the hell's the coffee? I'm thirsty as fuck! So it's time to lock off the other areas of the museum, but that sneaky shit Greg tells Parking Space that the labs upstairs are empty, knowing full well that Pant is still up there. Oh, Greg, you're gonna get yours, you shit. So everywhere besides the main exhibition gets locked off, leaving Pant and Gramps with no option than to use the fire stairs.
Hope your brakes work.
But they don't work! Well, you should have thought of that before you lost the use of your legs, shouldn't you? Then the wealthy benefactors Mr. and Mrs. Gout turn up, which grabs Greg's attention quicker than a cat hearing a bag of dreamies being opened. And he thinks to himself, this is it, Greg. Come on, don't embarrass yourself.
Champagne. How lovely.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr.
Greg is not bad, he's good. I am Greg! Back to Tom, and the dogs have led them down into the old coal tunnels beneath the museum. But the doggies suddenly bolt and take off down the tunnel on their own. The fellas run after them, but then something chucks a decapitated doggy at them. That's a good job dogs can survive without their heads, innit? The dog handler foolishly runs off after the other dog, so Tom tells Grimace to evacuate the museum while he goes to find him. The dog handler finds the other pooch cowering in a corner, but suddenly he's attacked and killed off screen. Then we see this terrifying shadow on the wall as the dog says, "Please don't eat me, Mr. Monster! I have a wife and kids!" Oh, okay then, I'll leave you be. Bye! Once it's gone, Tom finds the doggy, who is so pleased to see him that it gives his face a proper good lick, with Tom thinking, oh, good doggy. Although I hope you haven't just licked your privates. Back up top, Edna introduces the city mayor, who says,
"Hello, everybody. I am the mayor, but you can call me the mayor. I like drawing squiggles on pheasant-flavoured parchment."
Is he speaking English? I don't know.
But I tell you,
This coffee's terrible.
it's not even a latte, it's just milky coffee! So the mayor cuts the ribbon and Edna shows the guests around the new exhibition, saying, "Over here we have some broken jars, which are a bit shit. Moving on. Next up we have...
Primordial forest. There's pan.
And over there is ladle and soup. But our most important item is this relic, which is of...
The great devil god, the Cathoga, sitting on the skulls of his dead victims.
Wow, it's a good job that thing isn't real and in the museum as we speak, isn't it?
Shall we?
Shut up, Greg! You fuck! But then Grimace bursts in all like...
Get the hell out of here! There's a killer on the loose! What? A murderer, man, a real psycho! He's cutting people's heads off!
Then the headless body of a security guard falls from the rafters and lands on some spears, saying, "I don't suppose anyone's seen me head. I would look for it myself, but I'm dead!" Okay, everyone, please begin to panic in a calm and orderly fashion. The ensuing chaos sends the museum's security system into lockdown mode, with the big metal front shutter about to seal everyone in. But Grimace says, "Fear not, everyone, for I have a frail wooden chair." Damn it! I really thought that was going to work. In the security office, one of the two guards says he'll go to the power room and fix the problem. Right, I'll be back soon, and for the love of God, don't get your head ripped off by a monster when I'm gone.
I hate when you do that.
But once he's in there, he finds something has shredded the electricals, so he heads back only to find... Oh, for God's sake, not again, Dennis! Then we hear the monster growl and he turns around like... But what I want to know is if the creature ripped the other guy's head off, why did he put it back on again? Ah, hell, who am I kidding? For this movie, my suspension of disbelief can certainly stretch that much. Tell me, how much can your suspension of disbelief stretch before it's too much?
As much as I goddamn deem necessary.
A little while later, Tom finds the security room and uses their radio to call Grimace, and tells him to lead the group down through the sub-levels to the old coal tunnels, which will eventually lead them out to safety. But not everyone is willing to go, including Parking Space, the Gouts, and Greg, who wants to stay and wipe their arses should they need to poop. So Grimace tells Cappuccino to stay and protect them, hoping they'll be okay. Which they won't. So off the others go to find a way out. Back to Tom, who hears something behind this big metal door, which opens to reveal... Oh, it's Pant and Gramps. Oh, thank God. For a second there, I thought you were the monster! Damn it! Oh, boy, do I hate doors.
Somebody want to tell me what in God's name that was?
Well, it wasn't a big angry dog, was it? Speaking of which, where'd my dog go? Pant takes a drool sample to analyse in her office to see if she can learn more about the monster, but Gramps says he'll never make it back up the fire stairs, so they'll have to leave him there. Back up top, and the museum is now surrounded by armed police and emergency services trying to get inside the building, where Parking Space is being a whingy wanker as usual. Then suddenly he's hoisted up in the jaws of the monster, which proceeds to make him quite a bit shorter. Everyone is shocked and Cappuccino tries to shoot the beastie, but it whips him with his tail and he goes flying through some plate glass, giving him a bad case of the death. The others run off and try and hide, including Greg, who stumbles around until he hears something wheezing behind him. Oh, thank God it's only Greg with a funny mouth. He deserved it because he was unlikable. Then we see a SWAT team break through the skylight of the main hall and start rappelling down. But the monster is like, yoink, and snatches this poor bastard off his rope before ripping his head off. This other guy sees it happen and is like, nope. But then he slips down to the ground and is forced to run away from the beast before he too is given the chomp. His colleague Jeff watches in horror and shouts for them to pull him up. So they do, but the monster starts crawling up the wall like a big gecko. They grab the guy and manage to pull him out, but oh no! It's only half a Jeff!
Half a Jeff, the monster ate half a Jeff. Can he climb up a rope? Can he fuck? He's half a bloke. Look out, here comes half a Jeff.
Meanwhile, Pant's analysis of the drill has provided some results, showing that the creature is rapidly evolving into something reptilian. But according to this, its DNA is 33% Homo sapien, which means it may have started out as a human being. But who, I wonder? I mean, it's fairly bloody obvious, isn't it? It's Greg. Greg? Not only is he dead, but he was killed by the monster. Oh yeah. I'm still going to blame Greg, though. Then Tom gets a call from Grimace, who thinks the creature is following them. So Tom tells him to keep going and that he and Pant are going to try and decoy it away from them using the leaves as bait. Pant says that being reptilian, it probably won't like extreme cold. So she takes a canister of liquid nitrogen with them to blast the bugger with. They head back down the fire stairs, and this is my least favourite part of the movie, as we find that the monster has found and killed Gramps. Aww. Pant is very sad, but is even more determined to stop the monster now, so she takes off her heels to show us that she means business. Poor old Gramps, though. I hope he gives the monster the shits. Grimace and the others are in the old tunnels now, but it is half flooded, which isn't ideal. So Grimace shouts to Latte,
It's not getting any deeper, so keep it moving! All right? And watch your back! Okay?
Oh, damn it! But then it leaves the group alone as Tom and Pant have attached the leaves to this grate to lure it away. Unfortunately, it works a bit too well and the beastie pops up behind Tom, so Pant blasts it with the CO2 before making a mad dash back to the museum. Thankfully, Grimace and the others find the way out and are finally free from this nightmare. But not from the inevitable nightmares they will be having for the rest of their lives. Tom and Pant make it back to the lab, but he takes the CO2 off her and tells her to lock herself inside while he tries to kill the monster. She thinks this is a terrible idea, but he's very insistent in his usual shouty way.
Lock the goddamn door!
But then Pant hears the DNA analysis is finished. And hold on to your junk, because it's revealed that the monster started out as Greg. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's obviously Mr. Photo, isn't it? But suddenly the monster comes crashing through the skylight like, guess who's back? So Pant legs it, thinking these thin wooden doors will slow it down, while Mr. Indecisive shouts, She makes it to the DNA samples room where everything is stored in formaldehyde and starts smashing the shit out of it because she never liked it anyway. Meanwhile, the beastie is like, eat shit, you door bastards! Bastards! Then Pant makes a homemade bomb out of water and sugar or something before she's cornered by the monster, which is like, hello, Pant. I remember you from when I was a person. Mind if I lick your face? Oh, well, actually, I'd prefer if you didn't, but oh, he's doing it anyway! Oh! Then she tosses her bomb, which lights up the room, before she steps into this tiny elevator behind her to escape while the beastie is set ablaze. Despite this mild inconvenience, the monster still chases her as the room explodes. But I'm a bit confused as the monster is clearly right on her ass, and then it's not. Make up your mind, distance. Thankfully, Pant manages to make it to the tank of rhino soup and hops inside just before the explosion reaches them and says, "You gotta help!" Before the creature goes kablamo. So the day is saved. Tom finds Pant alive and horny and says, I think I'm going to take some time off work after this. Yeah, me too. How long are you going to take off work, Lieutenant?
As much as I goddamn deem necessary.
End of movie. And there we have it, folks. The Relic is a superb creature feature with a great story and one of the coolest creature designs of all time. One of these days I'm going to have to get round to reading the book this is based on. But as far as the movie goes, I absolutely adore it. And it easily sits within my top 10 favourite movies of all time. So, The Relic, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you loathe it? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget that next week I'll be doing my 10k Q&A special video where I'll be answering all your questions. So, post a comment on my last community post with a question and I'll try and answer as many of them as I can. But for now, bye!
Hello everybody, I am the Mayor, but you can call me the Mayor. I like drawing squiggles on pheasant-flavoured parchment.